Versus TV 24 Season 2 once again. We have a special one today. Former player of the U20 National Canadian Soccer Team and currently playing for Wake Forest Soccer Club. Welcoming to Versus TV 24 and the pitch, we got Nikayla Small. So we were off camera and you mentioned that your background is Jamaican, correct?
Yes, it is.
All right, shout out to Jamaica. So yeah, just let's dive in as to your upbringing and what brought us here.
Okay, well, the main source of my soccer career comes from my family. Since I was young, everyone in my family was playing soccer, so just naturally I wanted to play too. So at the age of 4, I got into house league soccer here in Pickering. And essentially from there, I was always one of the kids that actually tried. I wasn't kind of the ones that would pick grass. I was always trying to score.
You weren't girly.
No. I was trying to win every game, basically. So I'd be scoring goals, I'd be working hard, and then just from there, my dad and mom noticed that I had potential. So I just kept on going age by age through the ranks in Pickering. I went Pickering All-Star, Pickering Rep, and then from there I moved to the Ajax Rep team, where I spent like a bulk of my childhood there. And then from there I moved back to Pickering OPDL. It's kind of where you get seen by like provincial coaches and national team coaches. So from provincials, I got on the provincials team after the age of 13, and then I moved into the Ontario Rex program, which is like the National Development Center.
Right.
And then from there, I was there all throughout high school, and that's where I got recruited to play at Wake Forest, and that's where I currently play today. Okay.
So bring it back a little bit. Where do you think you get your competitiveness from?
Okay, so like I said, I do have 2 younger brothers, but they were born 7 years after me.
Okay.
So I was technically an only child for a long period of my life.
Right.
But I did have a lot of cousins, and we were all born around the same age. So like we were always competing against each other, playing different sports. And from there, I think just trying to be the best in my family stemmed to like trying to be the best on the field.
Right.
So at this period, were you more so watching boys playing soccer and getting that drive, or
were you also
watching
playing boys against boys?
Right. Or were you watching females coming up in the ranks type of thing?
I honestly would say a little bit of both.
Okay.
I watched, growing up, my dad's also a big Gunners fan, so I watched a lot of Arsenal.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I got like my possession style of football from. But like I would say, I did play against boys. We trained against them just to get faster. But as well, I also watched the Canadian national team, the U.S. national team. So just any intake of soccer, I was watching, basically.
This is around your high school years, or?
Even like just growing up, like high school, middle school.
Nice.
All of it.
Okay.
Well, that's why you're so nice.
Are you currently training?
I am.
How often do you train?
I try to train every day, except for an exception of one rest day, because your body does need rest.
Yeah.
So, but mainly every day I try to do something active, just get the body flowing.
So this is just you, or is this with a soccer trainer?
A little bit of both. Like if I don't have time to go to an actual trainer, like I'd come here and just run or like do some stretches, get some touches, something light.
So the concept of Versus TV, we're going to show you a clip.
Okay.
You don't really know what it is.
Okay.
And just critique the clip, tell us what you see, what you see develop from your own mind.
Right. There's actually 2 highlights in this.
Okay.
So you just press the play button. You might know the player.
Okay.
Right? So by all means, press play.
Oh yeah. Solid goal.
Yeah. So that was the first clip.
Yeah. Very clinical. Jordan Heidema.
There you go. How did you know?
I knew.
She's like, I know.
No, because she didn't even see the name on the back of the
I know.
jersey. Wow.
That's what she does, man. It is what it is.
I watch soccer, and I also got the chance to practice with her when I got called up for the senior national team back in 2022 or 2021. I can't remember what year.
And what was that experience like?
Honestly, it was surreal just because the camp was actually here in Ottawa and Montreal, so my family actually got to come and like watch the games that I was there for, and I was back at school, so it was like a nice little break to see them as well. And honestly, just playing with people like Christine St. Clair, Desiree Scott, it was eye-opening, and also just you learn so much in that environment, and you just developed so much new things in the week that I was there.
Right.
Christine St. Clair, she holds the record for the most goals in Canadian women's soccer. Is that correct?
Yes,
I think
and like all national teams.
Okay. Tell the audience what position you play.
I play attacking midfield, but anywhere in the midfield I'm comfortable with. But I just love to be in the attack and score goals and assist.
Okay.
Scoring goals.
Aggressive.
That was going to be my next question. So once again, just backtracking. Can you tell us how was your feeling when you scored that first goal, regardless of what club you were playing with?
Okay.
Do you remember your first goal?
I do remember my first goal,
Okay.
but I would say for me, which I don't know if it's like a midfield thing or just like who I am, I love to assist a goal. So I feel like an assist means so much than actually scoring the goal.
Yeah.
Like I love seeing like a beautiful through ball to like find the striker's feet for them to finish versus like me scoring. Obviously I love to score, but like an assist means so much more to me and I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I love both, but an assist holds more weight.
And as we saw in the clip, have you ever done a header?
I don't know if I'd call it a header.
Okay.
But basically what happened.
I mean, but that's what we know it as. But okay.
Basically what happened was my friend, she served the ball and there's literally no other way I could have hit it except for my head. So it did go in. I don't know if I intentionally did it or I just hit my face.
So it went in off her head. It went in off her head.
Yeah, and that's the only header I've scored. The only header on camera. But
man,
it was a great goal. My nose hurt a little, but it was a great goal.
So you played for Team Canada.
I did.
How was it like putting on that red and white jersey and representing your country?
Honestly, it's the best feeling ever. I think, especially, I was with the U20 team, and I was lucky to captain that team too. I think wearing the armband, as well as singing the national anthem with like all your teammates together, and, like we usually like hug and like sway too.
Right.
I don't know. It's just some form of like power that we get, and like you just know you're ready for the game after that anthem.
You could give us a rendition of the national anthem right now?
Probably not. I don't think you're gonna get my voice.
what was the call up like? What was that call or that email or how did they say, hey, you're gonna be a part of this?
Well, I'll start from U15. Like I said before, I was with the Ontario Rex, so I've never been in really a national team environment until the Ontario Rex, which is like the national team development center where you just have all the best girls in Ontario practice day in and day out and you're just getting better each and every day. So when I was 15, I was playing with girls that are basically on the national team now, and it was just a good atmosphere because we were always pushing ourselves to be the best version of ourselves.
Right.
And essentially, for U15, it was like the best U15s in Canada. So our coach at the time at the Ontario Rex was the U15 coach, so she did it in person, which was also kind of nerve-wracking because you like, it was either you're getting a yes or no.
Right.
And like at 15, like you're very fragile if you got the no. So like it was right before summer break too, because the tournament was in August, and she like called me in, sat me down, and she was like, yeah, you made the U15 team. Like, I just didn't know what to say. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I've never done this before. Never really traveled with the national team before, too, so we were going to Florida, which was very exciting, and I was just over the moon. I was so excited, and, like, I just told everyone.
Right. You had to tell everyone.
Who was your idol, whether it's male or female soccer player, growing up?
Oh, that's a good question.
Or both, male and female.
Okay, I wouldn't say I really had a woman idol growing up, but like I said, I watched a lot of Arsenal, so Mesut Ozil.
Here's Mesut Ozil. Driven through by Ramsey to Ozil again. Ozil linking up with Olivier Giroud. Brilliant! Quite brilliant!
He's like an assist merchant. Like, he had the craziest assists, craziest goals, and I was just in awe every time I watched him play.
But is that because female soccer wasn't as prevalent as males playing soccer at the time?
I would agree so. It just wasn't on TV. Like, it wasn't something you could just turn on your TV and see. Like, you'd probably have to search for it, which was much harder at the age of 10. Versus, like, you put on the Premier League, it's there every Sunday, Saturday.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Nice. Okay.
So let's talk about Wake Forest.
Okay.
What was that letter like, opening that letter and seeing it, you know?
Honestly, that was also funny story. My coach who recruited me, he probably came at the worst time to recruit me. Like, you know, January in Canada, brutal.
Yep.
He came. He came on the night of a snowstorm.
Oh man.
And his flight got delayed like 3 times.
Oh,
like,
wow.
I don't know why he came that day, but he's like.
From North Carolina.
From North Carolina. I'm like, wow, that's
Wow.
like a lot of commitment for you to come all the way over
yeah.
here. But yeah, he came here, watched me play, and then he gave me an offer. And like I said earlier, COVID really affected my process because I wasn't able to visit Wake Forest, but I did have a chance to visit all the other schools I went to. So Wake Forest was literally the only school I never visited.
Wow.
So it was kind of a risk in a sense. I didn't know what it was going to be like. It was a smaller school, and for me personally, I like that smaller school feel just because you get to know more people, you know your teachers, you create more of a bond with your classmates, fellow athletes, and etc. I took a risk, and just academically, Wake Forest is so good, and I do pride myself on academics, so I was like, this would probably be the best fit for me. And as soon as I stepped on campus, I'm like, yeah. This is my school.
So you made the right decision.
Yeah, I'm like, this is my school, I know.
Yeah. How do you balance or schedule your academics and soccer?
I think that stems from high school. I don't know if you know the school in Markham, Bill Crothers, but that was also the sports school I went to growing up. And just in general with the National Development Center and athletics, you just naturally had to balance it. So I was very organized in high school. Like, I had my planner, I had my calendar, I wrote everything down. So that kind of translated right into college in the sense that I was already very organized and time management wasn't an issue for me. But for me, I would get all my soccer out of the way in the sense that we have lift, get that done. We'd have practice, do it to the best of my ability. And then when it comes to academics, I'm fully focused on that for the 2-3 hours that I have, and then make sure I get sleep.
Nice.
Because the one thing I'm not sacrificing is my sleep.
Yep, you got to cover.
Just off camera, we were talking with our colleague, Makaj, shout out Makaj. We were talking about the difference between Canadian female soccer versus US female soccer.
Yeah.
Can you enlighten us on the difference between the two, if at all?
I do think there's a difference. I think in the States, it's just a livelihood. Like, you eat, sleep, and breathe soccer, and like most of your day is devoted to soccer, like the athlete part, and then the other half is student. And at times one will get overwhelming, but to make sure you have an even balance, you need to make sure you have good friends, you have self-care mechanisms, just anything that will keep you leveled for a majority of your time, because there's always going to be, one's always going to be harder than the other eventually.
So do you think here in Canada we're more lazy or just not as hungry?
But would you say it's more like a rec situation? Like, you go play, you go to school, you go home.
Right.
Nothing really.
Because that's more programmed.
Yeah.
Right, that's more programmed. But you're saying in the States it's like...
Just everything is about it. I wouldn't call it lazy. I just think we're on the right track to getting it where it needs to be, especially with the new league coming out, the new Northern Super League. But I just think in terms of the States, they're just hyper fixated on sports, and then that's kind of how their development, like all their high school athletes are very big in sports that translate into college, where we're just starting to get there.
Do you think it's because they're pressured into playing their particular sport, whether it's they're influenced by their parents or just being around other peers, or do they see it as a way out?
Like the neighborhood they live in, their situations coming up?
Honestly, that could be dependent on case to case, but again, it's just dependent on the athletes, how they view sports, because there's a lot of students that do use it as a way out, but there's other students that use it as a leverage to get themselves where they want to be. So it just depends how you look at it and what your situation is.
So when you're dealing with pressure or anxiety, not to say that you do, but if that's the case, do you more rely on your fellow teammates, athletes as support, or a lending ear? Or do you rely more so on family and friends to give you that support?
Honestly, both. I would even say my coaches. Like, we have some of the best coaches in the country in the terms that they treat us as family. And outside of soccer, they care about us as a person, and I think that's really important as a student athlete, because sometimes it does get lonely. Like sometimes you're just in a hole and then you don't know how to get out. But also your friends, like they're going through the exact same thing, and it's easy to like bounce ideas off of them, and like they can give you tips, you can give them tips. And I think again, having like a good group of people at school really helps you through your journey.
Because athletes do go through some form of anxiety or stress or you know some way, shape, or form. And, you know, you need a good community.
Yeah.
You know, to get through sometimes. So
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Because it becomes now like I don't want to say mental illness, but it does.
Yeah, no, because I'm a basketball guy, right? Okay. So even like free throws, sometimes you see NBA guys missing free throws. They might be going through something.
Right.
You know?
But you just don't know it.
Yeah, it's as simple as some things in your head, you're like, damn, I better not miss.
Especially if the game is on the line.
Exactly, right? So, sorry to segue to basketball, but you know.
No, but I agree. But it's like stuff like that. Like what you're thinking is like a negative self-talk. Like, damn, I hope I don't miss. And then you miss because you put that in the universe versus like, okay, I got this. I've done this 1,000 times. Exactly. I hit the free throw.
Yeah. Are there one or two teammates that even come to mind by name? And you could even give them a shout out if you want. But
honestly, like the class I came in with, like this is like very rare to begin with, because you know, like in basketball, you know, like the classes are like 2 people, 3 people.
Yeah.
Okay, so I came in with 16 girls, and it only grew to 18, and I could go to any 18 of them and have a conversation with them, talk about what's going on in my life, and it won't make a difference who I'm talking to. And I think that's very special, because you usually see in college teams, like there's such a divide in certain classes where like 2 people go here, 3 people go here. All 16 of us could have a conversation, and it won't be awkward. It won't be like shallow. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like our class is the best class I've ever had, and some of the best friends I've made here thus far.
I like to hear that. That's nice. That's nice.
That's great.
Where can our audience follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram at Nikki.Small_. You can follow me on Twitter. I think it's Nikayla Small 4. And
spell it out.
NIKAYLA SMALL, and then the number 4. And yeah, just follow me on those 2 platforms.
So what's up? What are you doing now, and what's next?
I'm just getting ready for preseason right now. So I go back to school July 3rd. Then July 4th in America, because you know they do it big up there.
Yeah, huge.
And then I start summer school July 8th and preseason, and get to hang out with the new freshmen and all our teammates. So I'm excited for that.
Just piggybacking off of what he just asked, where do we see Nikki Small 3 years from now?
Hopefully she's playing pro in Europe, getting to experience many different places, traveling, meeting new friends, seeing old friends, and just enjoying her life.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Small.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you
luck
so
on your
much.
journey.
Thank you.
And hopefully we could do this again.
Oh, I'd love to. I had a great time.
In 3 years.
In 3 years. In 3 years.
When you're pro.
Don't worry, you guys can come to a game.
All right, say no more. Say no more.
For sure.
Hey, you heard that, right?
Versus TV 24, and we out. Peace.
Bye.